Hi
Hi
guys, welcome back to your favorite podcast, The Marketing Unleashed, where we demystify everything marketing and anything in between. You have your favorite host here, Miracle, and
Luashi.
you know the vibes already. Let's do our period sign.
Period.
So, guys, today we are discussing something extremely important that we believe will be a benefit to everyone, whether you're a business
Yeah.
person, whether you're a career person,
Yeah, as
you
an
know, whether
employer, as an
exactly,
employee,
it,
marketing
you
professional,
know.
everything in between.
And I think that because we're starting, we want to cover all the basics
Yes, actually.
so that when we are building on more like technical stuff,
Yeah, so it's like going from bottom to the top, not top to
exactly,
bottom. So
exactly,
like there's a flow, there is
exactly,
progression as
hmm
we go, and then you're able to relate with
hmm
whatever terms we're going to be coming up with later
exactly,
in the
exactly,
episodes. Yeah.
exactly. I can't agree less.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about traditional marketing versus
Versus digital
digital marketing.
marketing.
I
Yeah.
think it's very important to uncover this topic because
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of misconceptions. People do not know what exactly it
What the
means,
difference
you know,
can be. Yeah.
and sometimes people seem like it's something really, really big and dark.
Yeah,
So I think it's going to
true.
help any aspiring business owner,
Mm-hmm.
anyone that's already in the
Even a
market,
marketing
any
professional as
marketing
well.
professional,
Mm-hmm.
any employer that's trying to
Yes,
look at
small
okay, what
business owner.
channel will work best
Best,
for
yeah,
us.
for the
So I think
business.
it's a very interesting topic to cover, especially
Mm-hmm.
into this day and age.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get right into it.
Yep.
Shay, our darling,
Mm-hmm.
educate us. What is
Okay.
traditional marketing in your books?
Okay. So when I hear traditional marketing,
Mm-hmm.
what comes to mind is the conventional marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And conventional marketing in the sense that the marketing that we used to practice,
Exactly.
like what we used to do in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and that's more relatable to offline marketing. So
Exactly.
for me, I would say traditional marketing is like the type of marketing that utilizes offline channels
Mm-hmm.
or old methods to be able to reach out to different target audience at
Mm-hmm.
different points in time.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah,
I can agree less.
actually.
Great. So from the digital parts,
Mm-hmm.
since we already have the background from traditional marketing, the
Yeah.
offline marketing, the traditional, the conventional stuff
Conventional, yeah.
in your books. So
Yes.
for me, I would say digital marketing involves it's now the
Oh,
unconventional,
yes, true.
right? So let's say the modern day marketing.
Right.
So the
On
use of
point.
digital channels,
Mm-hmm.
be it like social media, be it like websites, be
Mm-hmm.
it like email marketing, be it like
Mm-hmm.
mobile apps, be it like content,
Yeah.
like the use of
Everything
everything
online
digital,
channels.
yes, to
Yes,
promote
basically.
like to help a company or a brand achieve
Promote
its goals and
objectives.
objectives. I
Yes.
think that's pretty
So it's
much
basically when
yes.
you think of traditional versus digital marketing,
hmm
you think of offline marketing
Versus
versus
online
online
marketing.
marketing.
And
Yeah.
if at this day and age you don't know what is offline and online, let me explain. Offline is what happens when you drop your phone, when you drop the screens, when you drop
Yes,
everything.
when you're not connected to the internet.
Exactly. When you're like a human being.
Exactly. A
We're
human
all
being in
humans.
your raw form.
Do you understand? But like digital is
Yes.
when you're now connected to the internet and you know
Yeah,
what you can
and
see.
that leads me to like the examples of
Oh
traditional
yes,
and
yes. I think let's
versus
put
digital
it in case
marketing.
in
So
point.
when you talk about examples of traditional marketing, tell
Mm-hmm.
me about print media. So when I say
Great.
print media, that's like the newspapers and the
Mm-hmm.
magazines where you put ads on these papers, the
Mm-hmm.
dailies and all of that. That's the
Mm-hmm.
print media.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the television or radio station. So
Yes.
that's like more of the ad spots you see on these
TV,
TV
like during
stations.
shows.
Yes, and then all the times we used to see the Indomie adverts on
Yes.
television
Yes.
during short breaks and all of
Sure, we
that.
are giving Indomie too
And
much
then
credit on this our podcast.
they are
Sponsor,
too sweet. They made my childhood.
sponsor us. I think they understood
Yeah,
marketing. Yes.
exactly. And then radio jingles,
Mm-hmm.
those little jingles you hear
Yes.
during radio programs
Yes.
and all of that.
Yes.
That's more like TV and radio. And
Mm-hmm.
then we have OOH. So OOH is out of home. So the
Yes.
billboards you
Billboards.
see outside that they
Mm-hmm.
just put those screens with different sizes,
Even some things you see on
flag
BRT.
poles. Yes,
Yes.
OOH too. That's part of OOH. Like all
Yes.
the branding that you see on big BRT buses, or
Yes.
even as little as Keke Napep too. Because there was a
Exactly.
time there are times you see stickers and all of those things
Yes.
on Keke
Yes.
Napep.
I agree.
Those are part of out of home
Mm-hmm.
marketing
Mm-hmm.
for traditional marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Which other one do we have? I
I
think we
think
also have
events,
events as well.
sponsorship.
Events and sponsorship. So
Yes.
when you go to some particular event and you see all those backdrops, say, oh,
Yes.
red carpet, and you see the backdrops and you see different
They are
brand
not. It's not
logos.
designed. They are trying to
It's
tell
not
you that
designed.
that brand exists.
That brand exists,
Yes.
exactly, and that's part of traditional marketing.
Yes.
So That's like another example. So when you want to think of traditional marketing, think
Mhm.
of these things, and then you're able to relate that, okay, these things do not require the internet. You don't need to be
Yeah,
online. It
exactly.
just comes to you
Yes.
directly.
Yes.
Even traditional marketing can be these road shows.
Yes.
Road shows where
Think,
you
yes.
when I think Minimi or
Yes.
Power Oil, when
Think
they
about
all those
when you're on the way and you see some buses
people, and then there are some
and they'll
people
be singing
dancing
and
and
dancing.
singing and all of those
Yeah.
things. That's part of traditional marketing. So when you come across that, you can tell the difference between traditional.
Yes.
Okay.
Before I jump into some example of
Mhm.
digitals, I'll try to give you an example. When Mini came into the market,
Mhm.
one thing they were doing specifically outside, like TV, was
Yes.
also these road shows.
Road shows.
I
Yeah.
remember there was a bus,
Mhm.
a like branded bus that came to our
Yes.
street and
Like
was singing
van, like
Mimi noodles, Mimi noodles,
boom
boost, and
shasha,
and
Mimi.
everybody like gathered around it and we're all singing and dancing.
Yeah.
I thought I was just singing and dancing, bro. They were making me know that this brand exists.
Exactly, and that's the reason why we
Yes.
still have these things in our head up until this day.
Yes, because the marketing was done
It was
properly.
done properly. So
Yes.
yeah. So now tell me some examples of digital marketing.
Also, so for digital, like we said, anything that happens when you're connected to the online space.
Exactly.
Right. So you have the typical one, social media.
Yes.
Whether it's social media ads or posts, because some
Posts.
organic posts as well can be
Yes.
marketing
Digital,
driven.
of course,
Yes.
of
So
course.
whether it's like on LinkedIn, whether it's on Twitter,
Instagram,
Instagram, Facebook,
social media
TikTok,
platforms.
all social media, Pinterest, Snapchat, what have you. Like all those kind of ads and all those kind of posts are under the digital channels as well. You want to also think about search engine optimization.
Yeah, right.
Right. So things that happen like on the Google
Yeah.
ads. You also want to
Pay-per-click
think like
them.
pay-per-click advertising. Things that happen, when you click.
Actually.
Specifically, you want to think about email marketing,
Yeah.
sending out emails
and all of those things.
You want
Yes.
to think about content marketing via blogs.
Yeah.
So everything that happens
Content
generally,
creators.
you just want to think about YouTube video marketing.
Yes.
Yes, video
actually.
marketing as well. So I think everything that happens on the online
Internet
space
that takes your megabytes. In simple terms.
I'm telling you, even blogs,
Exactly.
right? Which is
Yeah.
content, like I mentioned. Everything that happens on the online space
Yeah.
both encompasses digital marketing.
Right. So
I think we've done justice to that point.
pure justice. Okay, so now moving on, right? So
Mhm.
I just wanted you to like give me the advantages
Yeah.
and disadvantages.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you think about traditional marketing?
Okay, so while some people might think that traditional marketing is outdated and it has a lot of challenges and struggles, which is valid, but I think there's some level of light and advantages to it, some of which is the ability to read like a wide range of demography.
Sure.
Like with when you have like the out of home advertising on billboards and TV and jingles and all, the ability to reach like a very wide target, like localized network of people. I think that's the word. Wide localized network of people is very, very high in traditional marketing. Also in traditional marketing, we can talk about tangibility. For example, again, remember we're talking about like the road shows, right? At that point, sometimes they'll bring out the noodles and show you like this is it.
Yeah, and some even go as much as cooking and giving
exactly they can even give it like taste
ones,
so that with traditional marketing,
make people try,
especially like yes, especially with the product side, the bias of what I ordered versus got is taken up because you are like for a product part, the tangibility
you are able to
is there.
see it and try it and test it.
Yes, and I like that some brands are now even doing like trade fairs. That's another example that we missed in tradition, like trade fairs where you can actually come and see this product. That's also another example as well. So you want to advantage, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Then also that trust. Traditional marketing helps to create brand trust. Also very, very important.
I agree.
And also top of mind awareness. Whilst you might think that it's outdated and all, but when you pass a place, especially a place where you pass every day, and you keep seeing these billboards again and again and again,
it keeps registering in your head.
So these are some of the examples. I mean, I'll talk about the disadvantages. Yes, what do you think are the advantages of digital marketing?
Okay, so for me, as much as the advantages of traditional marketing is beautiful, and honestly, they are very valid. True. I would say that digital marketing has its own advantages as well. Take, for example, you have wider audience reach.
True, especially for people outside the country.
Locality. So, if beyond people living in a particular country or living in a particular state, digital marketing affords you the ability to be able to reach people in different places all at the same time. So, take, for example, you're in Nigeria, but you have audiences that are outside the country or outside Lagos or outside your state, and you want to reach these people, it gives you that luxury to be able to reach people. That's wider reach. Another thing is higher interactivity and engagement. So in the sense that people engage with you more. practically everybody is on their phones these days. Everybody is checking socials. Everybody is trying to do something at the same time. So once you pop up in their face, they're like, oh, okay, this looks nice. I want to engage. I want to like. I want to comment. And then that way you are able to like say that, oh yes, this is actually beautiful. And then another thing about digital marketing is the ability for you to be able to track, measure your return on investment. So for digital marketing, there are metrics that you are able to use for measurement of the particular goals or objective that you have set for that advertisement. So you are also able to get data. So you are able to know what your audience is thinking. You are able to know what they like, what they need at a particular point in time, and trends at that time, so that you are able to now position yourself in that light to be able to reach them. So that's why digital marketing, affords you that ability. So you know that you're not just spending money, you are able to actively calculate what you're getting in return of that money that you've spent. So I feel like, there are other advantages, but like these are like salient ones that are quite important and unique to each of the the
I think you hit the nail on the head, especially. So on the back of that, I will just speak to the disadvantage of traditional, and I'm going to speak briefly from what you said. For traditional, it's very difficult to track and measure like results, for example. So say you're trying to run a campaign and you have like again, we have established that these both channels are beautiful and great. This is just letting you know your pros and cons.
So you pick your battle. Everything has a pro and everything in life.
So pick your battle, right? So like I was saying, whilst this digital, you can get data, you can get your analytics. For traditional, it's very, very difficult to measure. Say you have stationed a campaign, they're everywhere on billboards, everywhere on TV. How do you know that the people coming to your website are coming based off that? Sometimes people can say, oh, we can what do they call it? We can do like a survey and ask people where did they come from. But you can't trust exactly. You can't even trust customers' responses to things like that, right? Because they could have seen your ad somewhere on social. They now saw a second ad on billboard and all of those. So it could be like an ad on billboard and all of those. So it could be like a series of chains of reaction that brought them there. So you cannot specifically trust that. But with digital, you can create specific landing pages with like unique links for different campaigns. So it's easier to track results on
where they are coming from, where they landed at, how long they have stayed on your website, all of those things.
And know which of the platforms your best
brought them there.
Your best performing one to pour more resources into. But for digital, it's difficult to track.
Traditional.
Then for traditional, it's difficult to track. Then secondly, for traditional, it's expensive. Print media is not cheap.
It's not cheap. TV is not cheap.
I remember when we were trying to do like this billboard campaign for one company that we used to work together with. The bill we got.
Even recently, I'm still working on a particular rate card, and for TV stations that I am seeing,
it's not cheap.
It isn't cheap.
So you want to think about that. You want to think about the cost of that. Then also like you have streamlined targeting metrics. Right? So just like you mentioned, on digital, you can say, oh, I want to reach out to men within 18 to 25. I want the men to have interest in sports and this. Like you can really tailor your interest and targeting
to your target
ensure that
audience.
You're speaking to your target audience. But for traditional, it's wide, everybody come and see it and all of those things. And also like with traditional, the audience customer interaction is very poor. You reach out to them, you speak to them, what's their feedback? Especially except in some cases like events, road shows and all. But for like billboards, TV, for example.
It's like a one-way communication.
Yes, it's a one-way communication. That's the word. So like for example, if I see a billboard that is nice, I like it, but I have a question. I'm not going to look at that billboard and start looking for your phone number. You're not that important to me. I move on. But for like digital, you can like the communication engagement is much quicker and faster. So yes, I think there are lots, but I think these are some of the things that come to mind. How about you? So what are some of the disadvantages?
So for me,
you would say for digital?
I would say that digital marketing, as much as it's beautiful, and it has a lot of advantages, it has disadvantages. And I'll come to the point of the demography. So, a lot of people on social media these days on the internet, they are more of the younger generation.
Yes, our parents use it for WhatsApp and broadcast messages.
That's it. They only forward messages and check your DP and status. That's what they do with it.
I'm telling you.
You rarely see them on Instagram. You can really converse them on Instagram. It's more of the millennials and the Gen Zs. And maybe the Gen Alpha too. A little of them that you find on the internet these days. So you are not able to reach, the older generation on digital. Like, even if they can see it, it's not going to necessarily lead to sales for you, basically, compared to traditional marketing, when they are like, okay, I'm seeing what this brand is. That's what they're used to. They are used to the papers and all of that. So that's like a disadvantage for digital. And then I think another thing is the constant changes in the platforms.
Oh, algorithm.
Instagram, number one. Number one in changing you know that point where you feel like, oh, my hearts are doing great today. I've used the right metrics. I've targeted them, and then they just come a few, and then you're like, what am I not doing right?
Yes.
So like these things can be very frustrating, especially on digital marketing. Like it can be very frustrating.
Yes, I agree.
So that's like another disadvantage. And then another thing is, you can only reach people that have access to the internet.
Sure. Like you mentioned, yes. Earlier.
Only people that have access to internet. So what about rural areas where people don't have access to internet at some point in time? That's why, traditional marketing still takes over at the end of the day. So you're able to reach local areas and all of that to, increase brand reach. So that's like another disadvantage of digital marketing. And I feel like those are like the main ones that, affect digital marketing, basically.
I think you've done an excellent job capturing that. But let's talk about something now that somebody there is thinking, okay, let's talk price, let's talk money.
Cost.
Let's talk costs.
True.
Let's talk the pounds and the dollars and the naira. Let's talk that. So yes, for traditional marketing, what would you say is the price variation?
So I would say traditional marketing is quite expensive. And I'm going to even be precise here. Based on facts.
Yes.
For a TV commercial, depending on the station, for just like a 15 seconds or 30 seconds.
We are talking Nigerian rates.
Nigerian rates, sorry.
Yes.
For a 15 seconds to 30 seconds commercial that you want to put on, it can cost you as high as 80,000 naira.
For 30 seconds.
Like to show it like once or twice.
Deep that, yes.
During a show or a program or whatsoever. And it depends on
the station.
It depends. This I'm talking about, local stations and not our dishes or the African Magic stations here. That's not what I'm talking about here. And from that, it can go as high as 500,000 naira.
Yeah.
Depending on, the duration of how long you want it to last, how many times you want it to show on TV and all of that. So you are already getting an idea. For radio jingles, the fact that you have to pay a voiceover artist to do your jingle for you, you're not going to record your voice. We have professionals that are voiceover artists that you have to pay. And then after paying, scripting as well, you have to pay for them to write a perfect script for you. And then another thing is, hosting it on the radio program. Again, I say that it can vary. So you can be spending as high as 150,000 or 200K and above for a single jingle.
30 seconds or less.
Or less. So the radio jingle works. The higher your script, like the longer your script, the higher your money. So if it's a 15-second script or a 30-second script, it's like the higher you go, the higher your money. Tell me about billboards and all of those. Billboards are very expensive, depending on the location.
We're talking 6-7 zeros now.
I'm telling you. So like that's perfect. 6-7 zeros. That's how billboards work. You don't want to think you have 100K to do billboard or 200K.
And print as well.
Print, newspaper. As far back as 2018, you can pay 1 million naira for half page on a newspaper.
Yes, you already magazines as well. Magazines, some of the top magazines.
Exact top magazines too. You have it's a lot of money. It's expensive, and then boss branding, and then event sponsorships. Event sponsorships.
Imagine you wanted to sponsor a show like a Big Brother.
Do you understand? You are talking hundreds of millions, bros and sis.
But I feel like if you have the means
actually, yes, because again, it gives the top of mind awareness like you mentioned earlier. So it's like you may not be able to track it, but if your business objective is for brand awareness, top of mind awareness, you definitely have to get traditional marketing. And then which other part of traditional marketing do I want to talk about? I feel like I've captured it. So basically, it's expensive, but if you have the budget, it is a good investment.
Yes, I agree.
So
now for digital, a lot of people think I'm gonna bust some myths. Is digital marketing cheaper than traditional marketing? I would say in some cases. Yes, you can launch an ad of 1,000. You can launch an ad of 2,000. However, when you now want to think about what it will cost you to produce an ad that works. So, for example, now you get a setup. You need to get product photography.
Yes.
You have to pay your photographer.
Actually,
you have to do videos.
Even if it's just design, graphics design person.
Do you understand? You pay your graphic design person. You have to do videos. You have to do this.
Yes.
We're not even talking about what it will now take to, if you want to go the influencer route, what it will cost you. So now for digital marketing, it's affordable. For why I like digital marketing when it comes to pricing is that you can set metrics or you can launch campaigns based on your budget.
True, yes.
So your budget comes to play. But there's this misconception that digital marketing is cheap. It's not.
It's not entirely cheap.
It can go as high as these traditional figures that we're
calling. It can actually depending on what you want to do.
So the pricing varies on your objective and what you're trying to achieve.
But yeah, relatively, it is cheaper to run
cheaper.
compared to traditional marketing. Yes. So
I think we've captured that.
Yeah.
So now let's move further and talk about how effective are these two channels.
True.
So how effective would you say traditional marketing is?
So I would say traditional marketing is quite effective, and especially when you want to reach, a wide audience in a local environment.
True.
So, if you are trying to say that you want to reach out to people in Ikeja or say people in Yaba, and you want to reach out to them one-on-one, the locals there, I feel like, employing traditional marketing is going to be best for you. And, actually also dissecting which type of traditional marketing you want to use is going to be very important. So, so take, for example, if you want to reach people that are, mostly in the house and you just want to reach them at a particular period of time. So you want to use TV. So people that watch news at so time of the day, you want to talk to them at that time. Or say you want to reach out to market people and all of that. It is more effective for you to use the road shows, trade fairs and all of those things. So there is one-on-one communication. And basically, I just feel like anytime you want to reach local people, a wide audience and older generation, to people that are not on the internet, it's just best bet to employ traditional marketing and understand which one you want to use to be able to reach your target audience.
Awesome.
So tell me, for digital, which
how effective? Yeah. So I think for digital, because of the volume or the accuracy of the extensive data and some of the metrics that are already attached to this platform, it's easy to measure effectiveness more accurately.
Sure, I agree.
So you want to look at measures like, your website traffic. Based on this campaign I'm trying to launch, am I seeing it reflect in my website? Do you understand the volume of traffic that is happening? This will let you know, is this campaign effective? Is it not effective? You also want to check your conversion and your engagement rates. For example, you are pushing ads on Instagram, and you're getting only 2 likes at the end of the day, or you're getting no sales or what have you, so you know that there's something wrong with your campaign. Do you understand? So you also want to look at things like engagement. I've spoken about engagement. I've spoken about your click-through rate.
Yes.
For example, for email marketing, you also want to look at things like your bounce rates, your
subscriptions,
open rates, the unsubscriptions that people are. So there are a lot of metrics depending on the platform or the kind of channel that you want to use for your digital marketing. It's easier to measure. And another thing that digital marketing affords you is you can actually stop the campaign when you see it's not effective.
True.
So A/B testing is important. You can try out 2 different kind of campaigns.
A/B testing, you're going far.
Sorry.
Please take it a bit.
We'll come back to A/B testing.
Right.
So you can stop a campaign that is not effective based on the metrics you have put for yourself, and revamp, try to do best, and push for that. So I think let's not waste much time. Let's go straight to the last thing I think I want us to touch on is, when do you think traditional marketing should be deployed?
Yeah, so I feel like traditional marketing should really be deployed when you want, like I mentioned earlier, when you want to reach a particular audience in a localized area. And then when to deploy it will be dependent on the target audience you're trying to reach. Because we have given you examples of traditional marketing. However, you need to be sure of the objective you're trying to achieve, so that you are now able to deploy the correct form of traditional marketing. And that was the example I gave earlier, that if you're trying to reach people that that they are usually at work from 8 to 5 and they listen to the news around 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. That's when you want to channel a TV advertisement, or early morning radio shows. You want to do a radio jingle, let them listen while they're in traffic and all of that. Basically understanding your target audience, knowing what you want to achieve as a business, and then that way you're able to now choose which method you want to use to reach out to them in terms terms of traditional marketing.
Awesome. I like that you said know exactly what your goal
is.
I'm still borrowing a leaf from her, knowing what exactly you're trying to achieve. Like she said, right? If you're trying to reach like a wide network of audience, maybe across different locations, you might want to think of employing digital. If you're trying to, reach the younger demography, you might want to think of employing digital. If you're trying to do like a more personalized campaign, you might also want to think of employing digital. If you want real-time engagement with your customers, like based on feedback and all of those, you might want to, employ digital
as well.
If you want effective tracking, you want to be able to see what your data is saying, you might want to employ digital as well. I think, as she said, just need to know what exactly am I trying to achieve. Who is my target audience? And having discovered all of this, you would now know which channel works best.
Yes, exactly.
So I would just drop like a conclusion and you would. So I would say both traditional channels and digital marketing are very, very important. You just need to be clear. Why am I actually about to launch this campaign? Who is my target audience? What is my marketing goal? What am I trying to
achieve?
What is my budget?
Important.
How much do I have to spend on this campaign?
On this campaign.
What are the available resources that you have? So like you need to have all of this
plan.
Note some of these metrics. It will now give you a further idea on which works best. But I would say that a proper marketing campaign, especially for like a proper business, is a deployment of both. A good ratio.
And that's what I wanted to touch on. That at the end of the day, you just, as she has already said, knowing what you want to do and knowing your target audience. It doesn't mean that you can only do traditional marketing at a go, or you can only do digital marketing at a go. You can fuse in the two of them at the end of the day, because you just want to know the kind of target audience you have. So knowing your audience will give you a good understanding of where you want to reach them and how you want to reach them, which will now mean that you want to utilize both the traditional and digital marketing. Nothing stops the work of the other. You are able to use it together to be able to achieve your own business goals. And then, as you mentioned, the budget. So if you have the capacity to be able to explore a lot of options, at the end of the day, like marketing, there is no
one size fits all.
Exactly. And then you cannot be spending too much on marketing. Well, when you are marketing wisely, you cannot be spending too much.
I mean, the big brands still market
exactly. The big brands still market still today, and
Apple
that's why
was trying to launch a Vision Pro. I think that's what it's called.
Yes,
and they did like a proper
event
tailored to market the product.
So that's how
Apple could have just launched it. They're big.
They are big like that, and they'll still make sales. But then they still understand the power. They still understand the power of marketing. So at the end of the day, just find what works for you. What are you trying to promote at a point in time? Because you use traditional marketing for this particular campaign at this point in time does not necessarily mean that the next campaign you're going to do is still going to be the same thing. So just keep understanding, keep changing how things work. Try here and there to basically target like your objective at the particular point in time. So yes, guys,
I think at this point they should be clapping for us. Your teachers have done a great job.
Yes.
I'm very certain, because even from the speaker's end, I think a lot of value was shared in this point, in this episode. And I think at this point, every listener should already know what a traditional marketing is and what digital is, and when to deploy both. So once again, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Your favorite girls. Again, want to also mention that we're on Instagram and TikTok as Marketing Unleashed.
Yes, Marketing Unleashed.
We're gonna be consistent there. So yes, don't forget to follow us there to get up-to-date information about everything we do. Until we'll come your way next time. Your favorite host here, Miracle
and Oluwase.
See you next time.
Bye.